Huge crowds turning out for the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. And the COVID-19 enforcement unit sharing some concerns tonight. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, a massive touristic development earmarked for Walker's Key is beginning to unfold. The first phase, which included the redevelopment of the marina, is now complete, and the first structure is now being erected. This rebirth of Walker's Key is spearheaded by philanthropist and marlin fishing enthusiast Carl and Gigi Allen out of Texas, who purchased the property in 2018 at a cost of $100 million. The 80 acres key is surrounded by pristine blue waters and home to a wide array of Bahamian plants and fauna. In 2018, Walker's Key was purchased by Carl and Gigi Allen, owners of the Allen Exploration. Carl Allen says he's been visiting the key since the age of 12, some 45 years ago. The key took a major beating in 2004 during Hurricanes Francis and Jean, and since then, Allen says the key remained dormant.
I've been through a lot with the big storm Dorian. That we had just started work on Walker's when Dorian hit, and we dropped everything and started helping Little Grand. We used our fleet to go back and forth, I think 10 times, brought over 1 million pounds of goods, not including diesel and water. So that set us back quite a bit.
Allen says that they began to work on the key in 2019, but then Hurricane Dorian hit and they had to readjust their plans. Shortly after, the global pandemic also set redevelopment back. Allen says thankfully they've come a long way, and the first structure going up on the key, a church.
The island was a jungle. The marina was disaster. It was dangerous. We've doubled the size of the marina. We've doubled the size of the depth. As you all saw in the tour, it's very well landscaped right now, and we are having our first tournament Monday. Next week it starts, and be the first time in almost 20 years. Very excited. 40 boats are coming in, and then after that, I think we're going to keep the marina open to an extent, but we've got the structure coming in, and it's probably going to be a good year of that. Just structure coming in. About half of what we're doing is stick built here on the island, and about half is going to be prefabricated in Florida. I was very proud to say that everything you've seen today has been 100% Bahamian.
Phase 1, which was to complete the marina, is now complete. Allen says it was important to have a way for materials to arrive on island. The new marina can hold up to 100 vessels depending on the size. He shares what's next for the development of the key.
The structure will start here probably next month, and it'll probably be, we really don't know because it's going to be a flow of how the prefab comes in and how the stick build comes along. So it'll be kind of a race to see which goes first, but I'm hoping to get something opened next summer that will have maybe 20 of the rooms. And then as we go, hopefully by the end of next year, we'll have all 50 or so, as well as the lodge and the bar, and then the restaurants, the fuel dock, and the dive shop, and ship store, and all that.
Currently, 20 Bahamians are employed in the redevelopment phase.
However, there's probably close to 80 when you look at all the contractors that we have from mainly from Grand Bahama and Freeport. But eventually, we are looking at, I believe, close to 60 jobs. And I always tell people, I said, it's not just the 60 jobs. We're going to have these peripheral jobs that I could probably just name 5 businesses on my hand that we're going to need. Things like trash removal. We're going to need people movers. We're going to need fishing guides. We're going to need dive masters. These are all good jobs, and that people want to do. People have fun.
And to the size of the investment into the key,
probably the big numbers. It's right at $100 million, I think. And I was blessed. We were blessed with a successful business that I sold 5 years ago, and You know, I guess we could be anywhere in the world, but we love it here.
The Allens, originally from the state of Texas, say it is all worth it as they see the Bahamas as more than just an investment to them, but a place they call home. And now to the health beat. It is day 2 of the administration of the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine here in Grand Bahama. Health officials say they are pleased with the level of response from Grand Bahama residents who have been showing up and spreading the word of the benefits of the vaccination. Italia Hall has the story.
That's 1, that's 2.
A large crowd turning out at the Susan J. Wallace Center for the second consecutive day to receive the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. And so far, there is almost an equal number of men and women taking the jab. Our ZNS News team spoke with some residents at the vaccination center, some who had just received their second dose and others who were getting ready for the second jab.
I decided to get my second because I ain't put that thing up in my nose. And I will be able to travel free and move free. And the quicker we get rid of this, the quicker our country can come back online.
Probably ease of travel, more importantly than fear of the illness.
Because I think it's the best thing to do at this time. Get it back. I already got the first one. This is my second one. That'll be able to move around more freely.
I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I put everything into the hands of the Lord. And whatever happened, so be it.
Former Member of Parliament Ann Percenti Russell received her second shot on Monday and is now fully vaccinated. She says she had no side effects and is encouraging Bahamians to get vaccinated.
Come on down. Come and get the vaccine. Believe in science. Many years ago when we were getting our booster shots for whatever it was, we said nothing. But now social media is taking over the minds of even the intelligent people. The intelligent thing to do is come and get the vaccine.
Resident Julian Knowles had just left the observation room at the center where he received his second shot. He says he's happy that he made the decision to take the vaccine and is asking others to do the same.
Everybody wants to get back to work, and one of the ways of getting back to work is to get your vaccine and get it over with. I'd rather die taking it than die for not taking it. So, it's no big deal about it. I mean, you got to get it over with. Look at India, and all I could advise my brothers and sisters out there, just go and take it and get it over with. There's no harm to it, just waiting to where you're going to get Johnson & Johnson and the other one. The vaccine is the vaccine. I remember as a kid taking the vaccine for polio and mumps and all of that. It's the same thing, but because of the internet now and all the false stuff, when they have people confused, and Bahamians like to go on rumors.
Paul Lockhart sharing that he has comorbidities and he did not want to delay the process.
I am really thankful that the government was able to get this vaccine here for us in the timely manner that they did, considering the world demand for vaccines right now. And it was good that they got it before India stopped shipping the vaccines out of the country. So we are very, very fortunate, and I would like to encourage everybody to come and get this vaccine so that our country can open again.
Now, so far, some 6,200 persons on Grand Bahama have received their first dose. Now, as for the second dose, 300 persons have been vaccinated so far. Now, once persons have been fully vaccinated, they will receive this certificate electronically. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Now, General Manager of the Ministry of Tourism Grand Bahama Office, Stephen Johnson, among the group of persons who received the second dose of the vaccine this week. He says he had the COVID-19 virus earlier this year and is happy that he is now fully vaccinated.
We want to continue to encourage persons to come out. Don't take this COVID thing for a joke. This is serious. I'm telling people for the first time now, a couple months ago, I was really badly sick with COVID. For 3 weeks in my apartment under the gun. One point I thought I was going to not make it, and I'm here. I mean, I'm in good shape. I exercise every day, but this COVID thing is not a joke. And so I'm here to say I feel good that I recovered from it a couple months ago, and I'm fully vaccinated. I can travel wherever I want to travel, and it's a good feeling. I'm pledging to Grand Bahamians to come out and stop listening to all the conspiracy theories. This thing is real. We want to jumpstart this tourism industry faster.
He is also encouraging all persons in the tourism industry to get vaccinated.
It's important because you're coming into contact with persons who, for instance, the Royal Caribbean coming in a bubble and other ships that are expected to come in airlines. You're on the front line, and when we expect you on the front line. We're not forcing anybody to take it, but we're expecting people in the front line to be vaccinated because you can pass on the virus to them. They could pass it on to you, and this gives you a chance if you happen to pick up COVID to be able to fight.
Well, Grand Bahamians now have another option for COVID-19 testing. Doctors Hospital is now in Grand Bahama offering rapid antigen testing as well as RT-PCR testing at the Geneva Wellness Center that is located on East Beach Drive. Site leader Christopher Roll says they are offering a drive-through service, while Dr. Leviticus Roll says he is pleased to partner with Doctors Hospital in this effort.
We have the platform that's readily available. It's online at the Doctors Hospital website. So, for instance, you're able to go on, select the island, which in this case is Grand Bahama, and you can select the testing site, which will be Geneva Wellness. And you're also able to pay for the test prior to coming here, so that once you would have gotten here, all of the formalities are out of the way. You're able to get swab, drive through, and be on your way.
Geneva Wellness Center is a primary care institution. Our focus is on providing primary care. And as you know, COVID-19, we're still in the midst of a very powerful pandemic. And the efforts against COVID-19 is really a primary care effort. And so in that vein, we're pleased to have a powerhouse like Doctors Hospital join us in this effort.
That way because sometimes the volume is high, so we have to respect that also. And generally speaking, though, from experience, we've been able in a lot of cases to get the results out within a day. So we make every effort to get the results out as quickly as possible. And what we do with the results, for those persons that have email addresses, the results are emailed so that they would know in a timely manner.
The COVID-19 Ambassador Unit has been given the mandate of monitoring beaches, hotspots, and cultural sites to ensure the public is adhering to the necessary protocols established by the Ministry of Health. The unit came into effect sometime last year, and the officer in charge of the enforcement unit in Grand Bahama says that their presence has been effective in keeping COVID numbers relatively low on this northern island. However, he says there are still some areas of concern. Rumiko Knowles has more.
One of the concerns that we have as a unit is the citizenry adhering to the emergency orders.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Marlon Grant is the officer in charge of the COVID-19 enforcement unit in Grand Bahama. He says a major challenge for the ambassadors is having to constantly warn individuals to obey the health guidelines.
We find from time to time we visit certain businesses or we may visit beaches and parks, and we find ourselves having to almost repeat a whole lot of the directive. Wear your mask, sanitize, practice the social distancing. So that is one of the major concerns that we have as a unit here on Grand Bahama.
The officer in charge says the Port Lakaya Marketplace and the local fish fry are hotspots. COVID Ambassador Charles Thompson says they are constantly patrolling the areas to ensure that everyone is abiding by the guidelines.
I would encourage persons once they're out and away from their residency to make sure that they are wearing the face mask, and make sure if your kids are going out to those places, make sure they're carrying with them the face mask, an ID issued by the government, because it's also a fine not to have an ID issued by the government once asked for it.
But once you are found in breach of orders, there is a fine to pay.
Very recently, we had to go out and look in search of a person who should have been in quarantine. When we did our checks, we found that that individual was not at home, and that person was at work. Our response to it was, we cite you. That's a $500 fine.
Some restaurants were also found in breach and were given citations.
In terms of restaurants and bar, there is a cap that you have to maintain, and if you go beyond that, then certainly you are fined. We had in about 2 weeks ago, a restaurant and bar was fined almost $5,000.
The COVID ambassadors are also stationed outside of the ports of entry to ensure that travelers have proper documentation. Recently, there has been a spike in fraudulent COVID-19 documents, and individuals had to be taken before the courts.
It is a concern, and what we have done as a unit to keep us informed, we have met with the laboratories here so that we can be educated as a unit as to what to look for what is genuine and what is not. They have some identification on those results that them and us now know what we need to look for. As it relates to if there are any active cases, I could say that there is one that is being investigated.
The officer in charge says their job is to ensure that the emergency orders are being followed. He believes that their efforts are paying off. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit locating a small quantity of dangerous drugs and in a separate incident arrested one male for conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with intent to supply. In the first incident, shortly before 5:30 yesterday, officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit went to the area of Basil Nemar Park, situated on Carl Road, where they discovered next to a utility pole a black plastic saran wrap which contained suspected marijuana. No arrests were made. In the second incident, DEU officers on Grand Bahama, acting on information from DEU officers in New Providence, arrested a 40-year-old male of Dollar Row, Freeport, in connection with the discovery of 58 kilos of suspected cocaine that was previously discovered on Cat Island. Investigations are continuing. And stay with us, there's still more news to come right after this break.